Hello friends, welcome back to Chicken Run Creations. This is Dawn. I thought we would do something a little different this time from what my videos have been. So, let's see if I can show this to you without, I'm not sure how much glare there is. Sorry about the glare from my light. But anyway, this is my first, let's see if I can, my first needle felted painting that I did. I just finished it up last week. I put some shorts up on it, so if you didn't see those, you can look in my shorts. But this was the first time I had done a painting using wool, and this was just a picture that actually, it was an AI generated photo that I did on Creative Fabrica, and I really liked it, so I thought I would do a painting of it. And I thought I would do another painting and show you how I know some people have asked how to do paintings. So this is a picture that my daughter drew. And at first I was going to do a 3D version of it, but then I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll do a painting of it and maybe give it to her for Christmas. I don't think she watches my videos, so I think I'm safe. So I thought I would walk you through the process of how to do a painting. So the first thing you need, obviously, is a picture, unless you're really good at coming up with pictures out of your brain. I am not. I mean, I can sometimes, but usually I need something to look at. So this is my picture. And what I did on my last one, and I really liked it, was I got some interfacing. Now, the last one, I just used what I had on hand. This, I actually went and got this Pelion Wash and Gone. I had seen someone else use it in a video. Not that it's going to get washed away, because it's just going to get covered with the wool, so it really doesn't matter. But I like it because you can see through it really well enough to trace your design. So any kind of thin interfacing. Some people, I don't know, some people use like an iron-on kind of a marker or something like that. But I found that this worked really well, so I'm going to use what works. You use what you works. We also need something to put this on, so I'm using linen. And this is just a piece of linen that I happen to have on hand. You can really use almost anything as long as your needle will go through it. Some people use denim. You can use pre-felt, but I'm not a huge fan of using pre-felt. Oh, I don't have any handy here to show you. But it's kind of like a sheet of felt that hasn't been totally felted firm yet. And I did a little project using that not long ago. Well, maybe a couple years ago, but it's really stretchy, so I found it hard to use. So I like the linen. That's what I used on my last one. So that's what you need. And then, of course, you need your wool and needles. And I'll go through the wool here when I actually start to felt it and show you what I'm doing. But first thing we need to do is we need to trace our picture. So I just have a fine Sharpie marker here. So I'm going to go through and trace this out, and I don't know, I might skip it and just come back and show you, or I might fast forward it here. So trying to see this, but I'm just tracing over it. Okay. I'm not too worried about like the details in here because this is all going to get covered and then I can do the lines over it. But so there it is. Maybe I will just outline this here just so I can kind of have an idea. I'll extend it past this when I'm doing it, not knowing how big of a frame I'm gonna get. So, okay, so there, I have that done. Now I printed off a second copy of the picture because as you can see, the marker went through, so just to have a clean, this is a little bit bigger. My printer just made it bigger, but that's okay. So I'm going to set those aside for the moment. I'm going to get my linen here. I probably should iron that first, but it'll work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my interfacing on top of the linen, and then I just have some safety pins here that I'm going to pin it to the linen just so it doesn't move around as when I first start working on it. Once you start working on it, it doesn't really matter because the wool is going to go right through both pieces and hold it together, but just to keep it from sliding around when I first start, I'm gonna just pin that. Okay, so then you need a surface to felt on. Now my this is the very first pad that I made. It's got a lot of wear on it, but it still works. I had got in like some random, like a grab bag of wool one time, and I just used that to kind of go over it to make it kind of fun. I probably should recover it because it's kind of yucky there, but that's all right. I don't know, maybe I'll work it this way. I don't know, we'll see. So anyway, so once you have your pattern traced and you're ready to work, basically you need your wool. So I'll show you what wool I have. I'm just kind of going with what I have on hand, so I'm not sure on my blue what I'm going to use. So what I have is, this is pretty close. I might end up using this. I did pull, this was from my Amazon kit, and it's a little more kind of an aqua color. And that's what I was going to go with first. But then I pulled this out, and I think I might do this. I think this is a little bit closer to what she has here, so I might put that away. So I have my blue, which is what, you know, a good portion of it is. I have a couple different grays here. Now, I'm not sure if she, like if he's in a cave, if this is like water. I'll have to ask her about that. But anyway, I have a lighter gray for the back. I have a darker gray for the rock that it's sitting on. And then I have some brown that I can do underneath. I got this green out to use in here. And then, of course, you need white and black. So I have that. I have a purple for the eyes. So I have lots of colors here that I can use. But to start, we're going to just start, you want to start with the background. So I'm going to start with the gray, and I'm going to start up here. And I'm actually going to turn this around upside down because it's just easier for me to work it this way. So to start, you just want to take your wool, and it's pretty simple. And I'm just going to pull some off. And so she has kind of up and down here, so I think I'll kind of follow that. Instead of going across this way, I'll go up and down. So I'm just going to start to lay pieces, and it's okay if it goes over because you're gonna cover that up anyway. So I'm just gonna start to lay pieces down on here. And I might need to go a little thicker. I want to get right up to the edge. I'm not worried about these little sections in here because I'll fill those in. Make sure I get right up in here. I'm probably going to have to maybe do a couple different coats of this. We'll see how well it felts down. But so I'm just kind of going over where all that gray is going to be here. And then I found using, let's see, where is my needle? I found that using a spiral needle worked the best. So let me see if I can make sure you're still in the frame here. So I'm just going to go right along the edge of here and just start to tack it down. So I'm not gonna like totally felt it in yet. I'm just giving it some tack down here. And I can just follow right along the line. So this is a pretty simple picture. Obviously, the more detail your picture, the more work you're going to have to kind of put into it. But, you know, I suggest you start with something pretty simple if it's your first time, and then you can go to something a little bit more complicated as you learn. But I found, so I do have a background in art. Okay, so not college level, but high school level. I took about 4 years. I majored in art, and then I have been crafting my entire life, guys. I mean, from the time I was a little girl, I was always making something, and over the span of my life, I have done cross stitch, I have sewn, I still sew, I have crocheted, I have not knitted because for some reason knitting just eludes me and I don't know what it is, but so I've dabbled in knitting, but I've never really made anything. For many years I did decorative painting and actually sold on eBay my decorative paintings. In fact, I think I still have some painting friends on Facebook that I'm still friends with. And goodness, and then, you know, needle felting I've been doing for the last 3 years, and I really like this. So I have a lot of art background. You know, I like to play with the Cricut, make cards and stuff, but you know, this is almost just like coloring, honestly. If you go with a really simple design, all you're doing is really filling in the lines here. So it's honestly, it's pretty simple. So okay, so you see I've kind of filled it in. Now it's not totally felted down yet. I just kind of want to get the basics of it in here. And I can use my multi-tool here as well. Now it's going to go through, I'll show you the back side. So you're going to want to periodically pull it up because it is going to stick to your mat underneath. So it hasn't, because I haven't totally felted it yet. You can see that it's not, but this will all get totally covered in. But you do want to periodically pull it up off your mat just so it doesn't stick. So I'm just going to kind of work on this a little bit more here on getting it nice and smooth, and then see if I have any other areas that need to get filled in. So it's pretty sparse here and there, so I'm just going to kind of add some more wool where I see that it is a little lacking. And I like this wool because it's got, you know, dark streaks in it. I believe this is from my kit, which is linked below on my website. So I do like the variegations that are in this. It kind of helps with the shading and stuff. Now I might, she doesn't have it in the picture, but I might, I don't know, well, I probably won't do a shadow behind the dragon because it's kind of away from the wall a bit. I have this little section here underneath his chin, so I'm just gonna kind of felt along the lines here and then fold it down, and then that part doesn't matter too much because it will, I might just trim that off. So I don't want it to get too thick. So when you're doing something like this, you want to start with your background. So I'm going to do the back of the cave wall here, and then I'm going to do the rock that he's sitting on. Let me get my multi-tool, get the spiral one. So I'm using a 40 spiral, and there's 2 in here, so this makes it go a little bit faster. Maybe a little bit more in the corner here. But yeah, so if you've never, you know, taken an art class before, just work from back to front basically. So if you don't know how to shade, I'm going to put a link below to one of the girls in my Facebook group has a really good little training class in her Facebook group on how to do shading and basic shapes and shading. So I'm gonna hopefully try and remember that I will post a link to her Facebook group where she covers that. And because I mean I'll show some shading in here, like for under the dragon here, but she has a really good tutorial in there, so if you want to learn shading, go check out her Facebook page and her videos on how to do that. Okay, so this is down pretty good. I think I got a pretty good coverage. I can always come back and do more if I see any spots. But yeah, you're just stabbing away here. Okay, I might, after I talk to my daughter, I'll see, you know, if this is actually water here or if it's just part of the cave. So I might need to like kind of touch up around there a little bit. I like that gray. All right, so now we have the back part of the wall done. So now I'm going to get my green here and do this section. Now she has the section going this way, so I almost think it's like water, that like maybe he's sitting on a rock and there's water behind him. I mean, it doesn't really look like it's an outside picture, so we're just gonna go with it. So now, since the water's kind of going in that direction, since the wool, the gray I did this way, so the green I'm gonna go this way. And I'm just looking at my picture here to see what I did. Okay, so this is all green here, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just kind of tacking it in. Since it's a smaller area, I'm tacking it as I go instead of just putting it all down. Let's see, I'll try not to get my head in your way. Now this I will probably maybe add some other colors to it to kind of, so it's not just one flat color. Okay, all right, so I think I missed a line here. Let's see, yeah, so this goes, ends there. So all I'm doing is I'm just following the line of her drawing here, and then I'm just folding it over. Now if you're really good, you could keep it keep it over and then put your blue on top of it, but I kind of like to see where my line is. So and I'm undecided if I want to, because she has it outlined in black, so I'm undecided if I want to do that or not. I guess maybe I'll see how it looks when it's done and then decide if I want to make it look kind of like a coloring book style or if I want to just leave it as is. Thought about starting my Godzilla, but I thought maybe this would be a little faster because that will definitely be many parts if you want the details. So maybe I'll do Godzilla next. I wanted something that might go a little faster. All right, again, always making sure you pull it up. Let's do down here. I like the screen. let's put a little bit of dimension into the green here so it's not all flat. So I'm just going to take like little wisps of white and just kind of lay them on top of the green here and there. And just stab those in. It kind of gives like a little wave effect. I hope this is all in the frame. I apologize if it's not. Touch up the green here a little bit. Okay. Ugh. Let's see, where am I at the frame here? Okay, so now let's go to the brown underneath the dragon here. And we're just going to do the same thing. Now these areas are really small here, so I'm just going to do a little bit. And fold it over. And I'm not too worried about the edge there because the mat will cover that up when I mat it. Which, wow, I went to Hobby Lobby to get a mat and a frame for my other picture, and the mat was more money than the picture frame was. $10 for a little mat. I was like shocked at how much it cost, because because I did my picture 9x9, and that's not like a standard size. So, you know, kind of think about what size your picture is going to be, and check and see if you can get a mat in a frame that's going to fit your picture. I mean, I didn't necessarily have to get a mat, but I don't even think I could find a 9x9 frame. They were like 8x8 or 12x12. And I do know how to make a mat. I used to have to do it in high school. So I do know how to make them, but it was easier to have them make it. So kind of keep that in mind if you're going to frame your picture. Some people don't frame them. They trim along the outside and, you know, like maybe attach some string or something and just do it that way. You can kind of like, if you want to sew the edges up, you could sew the edges up. You could fold it under. You could take it and kind of fold it under like that, and then just kind of do a, I mean, you could actually stab around and it would probably hold. So there's a lot of options that you have to for presentation. And I'll probably frame this. I'm not sure yet. So again, I'm just following the outline and then folding the wool over. Once I put the color on for the dragon, if there's any holes, gaps between the blue and say the brown or something, I can always go back and fill that in. So took me, so I had started that the cottage picture like last year sometime, and I don't know why I put it down. I just got busy doing other stuff, I guess, maybe. But I was thinking it was going to take me forever to do. And once I actually got into it and focused on it, it was maybe about a week or so working on it. I mean, obviously not all the time because life, but I was quite surprised at how quick it went compared to doing the 3D objects. They take quite a bit more time. I just did a little bunny with a wearing a hat and a carrot. I posted a picture in the Facebook group, but I have shorts up of working on the arms and the legs and the carrot if you want to check out my shorts video. I've only just started doing shorts. I'm still not very sure on what I'm doing with them. I got to figure out a way that I can, I don't know, upload videos that I take into it. I don't know. I'm good with some technology and other technology not so much. So you can see the back of this now. See how it's starting to get a little hairs there. Okay, so now I will do some shading along here where he's laying on the rock, but I'm not going to do that after I put the his body in. Okay, so now we're going to do the darker gray. And so I'm not going to worry about, I'm just going to cover this whole area except for his tail and his leg here, because I'll go back in and add the brown or the lines there to kind of differentiate the oh, it's got a black streak in it. If I want that, let me pull that out. The lines there, so this is going pretty quick. I might actually be able to do this in just a couple of videos. I'll probably stop once I get this done, and then the next video I'll do the dragon. Okay. So we're going to call that for this video. Obviously we'll add some dimension to this as we go along, but the background is pretty much done. So, okay, done in general terms. Obviously we need to do some dimensional work, but so I'm going to stop the video here, and in the next video we will get the blue put down for the dragon and hopefully start to add some details and stuff to it. But yeah, give painting with wool a try. It's really, I mean, if you can color in a coloring book and you have a little experience doing some needle felting, even if you don't, it's really not that difficult to do. So I'm really kind of enjoying it. So we'll stop here, and in the next video we'll pick it back up with the blue and get the dragon put in there, and we'll see how far we can get in the next video. Thanks for stopping by and watching, and if you're not a subscriber, take a minute and click the subscribe button so you can know when new videos get put up, and check out our Facebook group. There's a link down below if you want to see more of, interact with other needle felters, with other content creators who are trying to help others do this wonderful craft of needle felting. So thanks for watching. Have yourself a rest of your good day. Yeah, let's try that again. Have yourself a good day, the rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video.